All right, Luke, I'm not a huge video game guy, but I do appreciate greatness when I see it. And college football 25 was the epitome of greatness. But now it's time for college basketball, I think, to get back into the fray of the sports, video game world.
Oh, yeah.
Our friend Julius crafted up a couple of covers for these video games, and we want to run through a couple of them to get your thoughts, and I'll chime in as well. And we, of course, want to hear your thoughts on YouTube to tell us who you would want to see on the face of an NCAA men's basketball video game. And let's start in the Big Ten. Now, I think in the Big Ten, you have to start with something along the lines of a Jace Richardson, obviously Braden Smith there, but you're touching upon all of them. Ace Bailey, John Tonji, right? This is it's a pretty solid one. Is that downtown Indianapolis too?
It could be. I'll just say, a lot of legacy up there on top. I love that they got Jace Richardson up there. To me, it's either highlight reel guys, bucket getters, or those legacy plays. So I think this is a good start. You got a whole bunch of names on there and all quality guys, freshmen, super seniors, a lot of talent.
I'm trying to think if we're missing it. I love the fact that Richardson is the I in the Big Ten. Like he is the I am him, kind of. The symbolism that you got to weave in and out of there, but nevertheless.
I would love one poster kind of player up there, like a Cohen Carr from Michigan State. Like, I like the highlight reels, man. That's why you play video games anyway. So him going up for one of those crazy dunks, I'd take that too.
All right, very good. Let's move on to the SEC. Obviously, the SEC has been otherworldly this year, and they're likely going to break the Big East record for NCAA tournament teams that'll make the tournament coming up next week. But when you look at this cover, man, you got Player of the Year preseason and Mark Sears, Player of the Year candidate, obviously, in Janai Broome. Trey Johnson there at Texas. He's a youngster that's going to go early in the NBA draft coming up. This is a good one. I like the lighting on this one.
I like this, but when you have a player like Janai Broome, push those other guys out of the picture here. Let him be front and center. This guy's a National Player of the Year contender. Certainly is either going to be one or two, right? Him or Cooper Flagg. The SEC's been dominant, but Janai Broome has led the way. I'd love to see him up there just gripping a basketball, staring, just a singular pick of him.
This is not a jab at the SEC, but I would imagine if the SEC had the face of the cover of the game, their conference logo would be more prominent, probably somewhere.
That's for sure.
Littered all over the front of it.
And like you said, there's so many great names in the SEC.
There are.
You either have 30 up there, or you try and put Janai Broome front and center.
All right, let's go over to Luke Hancock territory in the ACC. Now, Luke, a.k.a. John Willis, if you went back a couple of years when we were playing this video game. What was it, like
You're showing my age,
15
man.
years ago?
I did catch the last iteration of the college basketball video game, the reserves. You had to go deep to find.
This was, by the way, before you could put your actual name in a video game because you weren't getting paid. So Cooper Flagg definitely getting paid, and so gosh, this is icy. I like the color scheme in this one for the ACC.
I love the color scheme, but I'm gonna say the same thing I said with the SEC. This guy Cooper Flagg is just
front
different.
And center, yeah.
I'd like him front and center. Maybe that poster dunk in the Pittsburgh game, maybe against Kansas, but showing off the athleticism, I think Cooper Flagg deserves it.
All right, and last but certainly not least, the most important conference in the country, the Big East, and yeah, again, like you got Danny Hurley there. I would probably like to see a little bit more animation out of Dan Hurley, that we can grab him just screaming his head off. That's also one of the more scary looks from Pitino. You get that look from Pitino looking at you. You know how that feels.
I've had that many times, actually. This one's great as well. I'm going to say if you just put Dan Hurley and Rick Pitino looking like they're staring at each other, maybe white suit for Rick, I don't know, that would be it for me.
Okay.
Simple, but they're telling the story for the Big East right now. That rivalry is going to go on forever.
Any of these, wow, these are awesome. And Julius, thank you so much for doing all this
Creative,
work for us.
love it.
Favorite for you, if you had to pick one?
I'm going to go with that Big East.
I would agree, but I feel like the Big East, you would have to go retro a little bit. I know we're doing a game for this year, but I think when people think of the Big East, they think of the Lou Carner-Seca days, a throwback, but I don't know.
That's the things that college basketball video games were missing back in the day, is to be able to go back and get you a retro team or something like that. So to me, having those two legendary coaches just side by side, how intense that rivalry's been the last few years, that's probably my favorite, but all of them are great. Again, highlight reels, bucket getters, and then the history.
Ball's in your court, EA Sports. All you got to do is get to work on the college basketball game. We've done great work on the college football game. College basketball, I think, is next. YouTube folks, let us know which one is your favorite that our good friend Julius made, and also maybe what changes you would make to some of these covers when college basketball and EA Sports get together for a great, great matchup. Hopefully it comes out. We'll see.